Hey, what's up everyone? This is K Collections. Once Götterdämmerung 3 ends, Lostbelt 2 will most likely be out early this month if they want to have Scotty by the 3rd anniversary. With that, the pre-release campaign will feature the new 5-star archer Napoleon. With the archer class being so saturated with great servants, let's see how Napoleon compares. I'll break down his stats, skills, give some CE and team recommendations to see if you should summon them. Starting with his stats, Napoleon has the 4th highest attack out of the 5-star archers, just a bit lower than Ishtar. HP stats are the lowest, matching Gilgamesh's. For generation stats, his NP gains are decent, coming at around 30% with an Arts Quick Arts Brave chain. Star gens from attacks are low, creating roughly 15 stars with a Buster Quick. Napoleon's role is to aid your team offensively while being a DPS servant himself. He has a very solid charisma skill, buffing himself by 20% on top of the party buff, giving him a total of 40% attack boost when the skill is maxed out. Simple skill, yet really good and effective, especially with that short cooldown. He also buffs the party's NP damage, which of course applies to himself, further increasing his damage output. The increase in star gens also helps with his own NP attack, allowing him to produce around 20 stars or so with the right Brave chain. His final skill is really impressive, offering a 30% NP battery, helping him use his NP attack faster, which is the main goal for Napoleon. The Pierce invincibility lasting 3 turns offers good time flexibility, meaning you can activate this early for the NP charge while still be able to pierce through enemies who dodge a couple turns after. And let's not forget the 20-30 like effect. Napoleon's Noble Phantasm is an AoE that ignores defense. Combined with his Pierce invincibility skill, the only way to reduce his NP damage or to avoid it is with debuffs. His NP will deal more damage to divine enemies, nothing new as a lot of servants have this ability, but still very effective since there is a hell of a lot of servants and targets within this trait, about 80 servants to be specific. Post NP upgrade, Napoleon's damage will increase along with gaining 20 stars. This combined with his second skill, which I assume you'll use since it increases his NP damage, will allow him to generate almost 40 stars when he performs a Brave chain thanks to the star gen buff, approaching almost 50 stars if you have his 3rd skill active. For CE recommendations, equip anything that will increase his damage. He's a semi-supporter, but also a damage dealer. 0 over is an obvious choice since it gives him the highest percentage for Buster. If you want to take advantage of his Archer class star weight, Victor of the Moon is a solid choice, especially when he can provide his own stars. You can also give him Craft Essence that generates a few stars every turn, like Maiden Leading Chaldea or Sweet Days, both being event CEs, so they should be max limit broken. Another great option would be Aerial Drive. Gives a nice starting NP and increases his damage output. 20-30 is a solid way to transform Napoleon into a solid star generator. This combined with his skill will give about 18 to 20 stars depending if the 20-30 is max limit broken or not, every turn for 3 turns. If you include his post NP stars, then he's definitely a solid star generator without attacking. Being an archer, the stars will go to him naturally. Keep in mind though, if you're building a team that revolves another DPS servant, especially when you want them to crit, then he may kind of interfere with the star absorption. Due to his supportive skills, Napoleon can work with any servants, preferably Buster focused ones for synergy. To really take advantage of his team star gen buff, use servants that are like him, Buster star generators with high hit counts for their Noble Phantasm. Examples include Raiko, and since she's a berserker, class advantage will always work. Iskandar, like Napoleon, can also buff your team offensively. Other servants include Archer Emiya and Suzuka Gozen, who has their own star gen buffing skill and very high hit counts for their NP attack. Even Berserker Lancelot, though his NP is quick, that doesn't mean Napoleon can't help him. Obviously, being so Buster focused, Merlin is the strongest supporter for Napoleon. Between the 2 servants, you can generate a solid number of stars with just effects. Merlin also provides a survivability option for Napoleon since he has no way to survive enemy NP attacks. The combined NP batteries between the 2 servants will give you a total of 50% charge for Napoleon. Though it's not turn 1 NP, it's still quite convenient for farming, especially if the event CE offers starting NP. Speaking about farming, we can't forget about Waver as he'll offer the fastest and highest percentage of NP charging. Quetzalcoatl is another solid ally. Her charisma and God's wisdom can help offensively, and the guts can help with his survivability. Napoleon can also generate stars for cats to use, and you wouldn't have to worry about her star absorption because her 3rd skill increases gather rate. But if you are using Napoleon as your main crit damage dealer, Cats isn't really the ideal choice because her star weight is higher. My final thoughts on Napoleon. He's a very solid servant, I would say a good one. Now, the problem is, he's competing with other 5-star archers like Gilgamesh, Ishtar, and Tesla, and those are really tough competitions. Napoleon's playstyle is similar to Francis Drake or Iskandar. Obviously, there are differences, but more or less similar functions. He's capable of providing stars through effects, and like Drake and Iskandar, his Noble Phantasm has the capability to generate a lot of stars, which is a strong setup for next turn. The attack and NP buffs makes him quite universal in parties, excellent for team farming. His NP attack is also quite reliable since it ignores defense, and you'll typically combine it with his Pierce Invincibility skill. And that's the thing, Napoleon has strong synergy between his skills and NP. Increased damage, increased star gens off attacks, which works great with his 5 hits NP. Finally, an NP battery. Even with all his skills dedicated towards his Noble Phantasm, Napoleon is not a one-note servant. Again, he's a semi-supporter as well and can generate a good amount of stars. Now, in terms of damage output, it's quite high. If you're looking strictly at numbers, not including increased damage against specific type of enemies, let's say traits for example, Ishtar is the only archer that beats him in terms of damage. Now, Gilgamesh dealing increased damage against all servants is what makes him better in comparison. But again, not including enemy types, let's say neutral targets only, Napoleon is slightly stronger. Not to mention, Napoleon deals more damage towards divine targets, and there's a lot of them. Sadly, both Tesla and Gil deals more damage when facing almost all servants. In Tesla's case, Earth and Sky enemies, therefore making them more reliable in damage compared to Napoleon, who's just increased damage in Divine. Also, Ishtar and Tesla have a 50% NP battery skill, which makes them more reliable for event farming. All you need is a waiver to turn 1 NP, so it's not like Napoleon sucks. Like I said, he's great, but it's just the advantages of the others makes him less desirable, that's all. He's also very effective in farming as well, which is like 90% of this game. For challenge quests, depending on the quest, he may not be the best option because his survivability is really lacking. No healing, no guts, evade, or invincibility, and he has low HP. But he can also give you early momentum. Again, he can use his Noble Phantasm quite early on, buff your teammate's attack, and pierce through any invincibility or defenses an enemy may have. So the question is, should you summon Napoleon? It's a tough one. Yes, if you do not have any of the top 3 AoE archers. They are Gilgamesh, Ishtar, and Tesla. Even if you have one of them, Napoleon can still help a lot, especially helping those archers I mentioned when farming. Now, it may be more preferable for you to save for one of those 3 archers and get them instead of Napoleon. He can spook you anytime, while the others is either story locked or limited, so that's something you have to consider. Overall, if you can wait for Gilgamesh, Ishtar, or Tesla, then I suggest getting them instead of wasting all your Saint Quartz on Napoleon. Again, it's not that he's bad, he's really good. It's just that he's kind of outshined by the others. But if you need a solid AoE archer right now, Napoleon won't disappoint. So, are you going to summon for Napoleon? Comment down below, I'd like to know. For me, I'm most likely going to skip him. I already have Gilgamesh, and again, it's not like I don't need Napoleon. I don't have an Ishtar or Tesla. I do have an Arjuna though, so I guess that makes up for it a bit. Not really. But I'm saving all my Saint Quartz for you-know-who, Scotty. A tremendous thanks to all my patrons for supporting me. If you want to support my channel, check out my Patreon or channel membership. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more Fates content. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and join my Discord server. All links are in the description. Have an awesome day, everyone. Till next time.